the first real boxer that Nas has fought. He fought a couple of average ones, but this guy was world class, top 10. I knew Nas couldn't beat him. You got to get lucky with a big shot. And what Nas is he's a Muslim, but on the back of his boxing trunks it says Islam. And he talks, if you look at the interviews between fights and stuff with Nas, he talks about it a lot. That's where he gets his strength. It's Islam, Islam, Islam. So I went on the video and I said, listen, for those of you that believe in Islam, I want to ask you a serious question here. Was Allah present for this fight and not willing to answer the prayers of Nas? Not willing to help him win the fight? Or did he just take the day off? Or does he not get involved, this Allah, with boxers or such small affairs? And I had somebody say that boxing was a sin, according to Islam. So that was a reasonable answer. In other words, God's not getting involved in that. He's not going to help a Muslim win over a non-Muslim in a boxing match. Forget about it. But this other guy attacked me, and I thought, here we go. Here comes the ad hominem, but I'm going to keep persisting with the questions instead of just letting him attack me. I let him attack me, and I let him attack and attack. You don't know anything about Islam. You're a sissy girl. Okay, I'm a sissy girl. So the question, where was Allah for this fight? Can you answer that? I said, in fact, think of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali won Rumble in the Jungle. George Foreman, big-ass knockout puncher. He was like Mike Tyson on stilts, okay? Baddest man in the sport. And Ali took him out in like the 8th round, all right? After that fight, in his interview, Ali was all about Islam. I'm telling you, I beat this big man because when Allah is with you, no one can defeat you. Now, Ali, well, you get them confused. They sound alike. Ali, from that point of, what was it, 69 or 1970, somewhere right in there, he became a Muslim, and he's been one since. He hasn't diverted from that at all. Yet he started losing fights. Started losing a couple fights after that. And I thought, Ali, why was Allah with you for the Foreman fight, but not for the fights after that you lost? Where was he then? This is why I started wondering, because it's not me putting words in the boxer's mouth. They're saying this invisible God has been the only reason they've won their fights. So my question was God mad at you on the fight you lost, or did he just like the other guy better? And this is where you get into fucking stupidity, okay? It's stupid to think that an invisible God has helped you win a fight and he's going to let you win some but not others. That's stupid. Either there is no God, or he's not worried about boxing or football games or hockey games. He's not in that business, okay? I can promise you that. One of those two things is true. Anyway, that's an example of why you can't say anything about religion. You can't. It's taboo. It's off the record. You can't insult it at all. And I'm not down with that, because I'm definitely down with freedom. And I think religion has led us to do some dumb shit over the past couple thousand years. Really dumb shit. And I think maybe we should start requiring evidence for our beliefs. And if we're going to believe in a religion, take the best parts of that religion, the part that has tolerance in it, if your religion does have that, the part that has loving your neighbor in it, the part that has abiding by the law in it, the part that has not hurting people in it. Use those and live by those. But when you think that you can fly 4 airliners into buildings in the United States and kill innocent people who just want to go to work, earn their money, and take care of their family, and send their kids to college, and get a weekend off so they can watch and love and watch their children grow and have birthday parties, these people are evil? These people deserve to be burned with the fuel from a 767, or have to choose between death by fire or death by impact from jumping from a building? Your God says you're going to win for that? Well, because they're infidels, right? They don't believe. So they've got to be killed. That's a problem. Now, that is not your average Muslim there. That is an extremist, just like we have extremists in every religion, that thinks you can go kill innocent men, women, and children and be rewarded in an afterlife for that. That takes a very warped mind. And we're weak, humans are. We can be led. We can be led in any direction as long as it sounds good. Don't let anybody lead you. Find your own fucking path and make sure you get there by thinking and using logic and requiring evidence for your beliefs. If you have a faith, I've said before on this show, I can't really talk about faith, but I'm going to talk about faith, because faith is causing some issues these days. And I think that if we cannot find faith that lines up with universally accepted laws of good behavior, then we ought to say fuck that part of that faith or fuck that faith entirely. And if we're not going to, then I think there ought to be some repercussions for that. No longer can faith be given a clean path like handing the fucking Tasmanian devil a chainsaw and setting him loose in the middle of the city. That just can't happen anymore. Something's got to give there. Here's what Bill Maher has to say about it.
Just let me answer a couple of the criticisms that were leveled at me for making this Insomnia, because I think they were bullshit. And the first one was, oh, Bill, you're such a meanie. Why do you have to go after religion? It gives people comfort. It doesn't hurt anything. Okay, well, other than most wars, the Crusades, the Inquisition, 9/11, arranged marriages to minors, blowing up girls' schools, the suppression of women and homosexuals, fatwas, ethnic cleansing, honor rape, human sacrifice, burning witches, suicide bombings, condoning slavery, and the systematic fucking of children. There's a few little things that I have a problem with. So, okay, again, not a rally, and I see people in the front row like, fuck you, Bill Maher. When my wife dragged me to this show, I expected a little something different. A sweater vest in 2010. That, let me guess, Republican? But anyway. But I think I know the reason that the God who doesn't exist put me on earth. I do. I think it's it's to make that connection for people who say it doesn't do any harm. So let me give you some practical examples, okay? Number one, the Pope, who I love. I'm not knocking the Pope. He's a fantastic Catholic celebrity. He is. The Pope, this is true. The Pope has a Facebook page. That's true. I'm not making that up. The creepy thing is under relationship status, he put it's complicated. That's the creepy thing. But the Pope last year went to Africa for a reunion with Rommel. No. It's just a joke. Again, I'm not after... No, it's a joke. I see the thing, I'm not after the Pope. By the same token, when it's the Pope, I don't pause to make a joke, okay? He's just a man. He puts his dress on one leg at a time, like everybody else. He's not holier than us because he, wears a costume. I could buy a pointy hat. I just don't. Okay. But I'm not mad at the Pope for that. He wasn't a Nazi. But what I'm mad at him for is going to the continent most ravaged by AIDS and telling them they couldn't use condoms. So don't tell me religion doesn't do any actual harm. All right, not a rally. Thank you, not a rally. But here's another example. Very practical, closer to home. Stem cell research. Now, as you know, for the last 8 years, we couldn't have stem cell research because President Larry the Cable Guy not funny, I know, cock-blocked stem cell research because, when he got into office, he asked a very important question. He said, "What is stem cell research?" And they sat him down and they explained, when a daddy loves a mommy very much. But what is a stem cell? It's a microscopic specklet of goo in a petri dish, or as the conservatives call it, a baby. Except it's not a baby. You know how I know this? Because you know what they do with it? They freeze it. They put it in the freezer. You can't do that with a baby, okay? I mean, I don't know a lot about babies. I've never even touched a baby, but I know you can't put one in the freezer. You know how I know this? Because if Americans could do that, oh, they would. Oh, absolutely. There are yuppie couples. It'd be like, geez, we're so busy this month. Fuck, and we've always wanted to see Italy, you know. Just put the baby in the freezer. When we get back from the trip, we'll thaw it out, you know. Okay, here's the last thing I'll say about this, and then I'll get off it. But in a recent poll, 61% of Americans agreed with the statement, religion solves all or most of my problems. Which is great, except for one little thing. It doesn't. Oh yeah, that's right, it doesn't. You can't pray away global warming. And that's the difference between religious people and sane people. It is. We fear different things. I fear climate change. They fear a demon in a red bodysuit with a pitchfork. I fear terrorists getting a nuclear bomb into the port of Long Beach. They fear not getting picked when their imaginary friend comes back for the rapture. You know, I was in the bathroom when the rapture came. Fuck, Here's a frightening statistic. 1 out of 4 Americans believes that Jesus will return to Earth in their lifetime. See, that's religion. Ego, masquerading as humility. Jesus is coming back. Of course he's going to want to meet me. Hi, Jesus. Bob Flemstein, big fan. Big fan. I know you're crazy busy with the rapture and everything, but could you sign? I don't want to be that guy, but... So, you know, people come to me all the time and they say, Bill, I'm with you. I saw your movie. We're right here. You know, I don't believe in that crazy biblical nonsense. Just the central story. Oh, you mean the stupidest part? I mean, come on. God had a son. I mean, time out right there. God had a son? He's powerful beyond all imagination? He exists in a realm above time and space, but he has kids? What is this, Bonanza? He has a son. God had a son, and he said to him, Jesus, I'm sending you down to Earth on a suicide mission. But don't worry, they can't kill you because you're really me. But it is going to hurt for a few days. I'm not going to lie about that, son. There's about 3 days you're going to hate me. But I'm doing this for you. I mean me. What am I saying? I'm me, you're you. But I go myself, but I have you. Me. What am I saying? Anyway. All right. Now... Now, Jesus, here's the plan. I, God the Father, wink, wink, I'll go down to Earth first. You see, we'll split up the work, because there's 2 of us. Not really. I'll go down to Earth, and I'll see if I can find a virgin Palestinian woman to impregnate so that she can give birth to you. I mean me! What am I saying? It's like Faye Dunaway in Chinatown. My sister, my daughter, my sister, my daughter. I mean, it is one of the silliest stories I've ever heard, but I don't mean to offend. But, you know, look, I get it. Jesus was a cool guy with the hippie philosophy and the long walks on the water that turned into fishing trips with the guys. I'm down with all that, but, you know, it doesn't sound crazy, that story, to us, because we're used to it. It's been around for 2,000 years. To really understand how whack religion is, you have to look at the new religions, which for this country is Mormons and Scientologists, who I think should merge and make Mormontology.
Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it? That hurts if you're a traditional Christian. I know.